Mediocre Disc Golf Podcast, an average podcast for the average disc golfer. As always, I'm Evan Amstutz, joined by Kim Hatcher. We're happy you could join us. Kim, how are you doing today?
Doing good. It's really nice to be back in the swing of things and playing disc golf. Like, gosh, you don't realize how much of an addiction it is until you go a couple of weeks without it and you're like, wow, I really just want to go throw some discs right now. So
Yeah. I feel that we're now in Florida, that time of year where 3:00 you can, instead of checking your weather, you just look at the time and you know that it's going to rain.
You just know. Yeah.
So I haven't been able to play a ton. It's been really rainy and miserable. And it's not like everywhere else in the country where when it rains and it's like overcast and all that, it's nice and cool at least. Here it's, 85, humid, putting just enough rain down on the pavement that it turns it into like a rice cooker.
More humidity.
Yeah.
More humidity. Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, though, I played softball in this heat. It doesn't bother me. So like when other people are like, oh wow, it's so hot. They did that Tuesday. I was hanging out with some people at Ladies League and like, oh wow, it's so hot right now. I was like, this is nice. Like there's a breeze. Like I am living the dream right now. But to each their own.
I'm definitely not that person. When I was running track, it would be hot and it'd be like you could feel it coming off the pavement or the rubber track, and that was the worst. And sometimes
that is the worst.
Playing in Florida, you have all those courses that are mostly sand instead of dirt, and it just
like New World Green,
like New World Green.
Yes,
where I'll wear my sun hat and I will still come back sunburned because it's so reflective.
It's like when you go skiing and you get sunburned from skiing. That's exactly what New World Greens is like playing. You always get sunburned just because the sand reflects it all.
Yeah, so I feel you on the not playing a ton. It's nice when you do get to go out.
Yeah, and it's nice to get like being injured. It's so tough, and like where Josh and I have been going to the gym, so like I really do feel strong and I'm not worried anymore. I don't know if you've ever felt that way, like when you like kind of come back after an injury, like you're worried that like you might throw too hard or you're gonna spin off or like you're gonna lose control. I'm finally to that spot where I'm not worried anymore. I'm just keep moving, keep going, and it feels better. I can throw forehands now, which is really nice. I was nervous because think Eagle, when Eagle dislocated. Yes. When he dislocated his shoulder doing that stupid 360, which wasn't smart to begin with, which wasn't smart because when you do a 360 backhand, like your body is turning with your arm. When you do a direction that your arm can go. Yeah. And when you do a forehand, like your body's turning left, but your arm is kind of going.
It's so lag behind.
Wasn't smart. So that's kind of the reason I've been trying to stay away from forehands, but I've been kind of bringing it back, which is good. Trying to just kind of getting that flick again and just spinning it. So it's really nice. It's nice. I love disc golf and I missed it. So it's good.
Yeah. We should do an episode on recovering from an injury because I, at the beginning of the year, had a decently significant injury that really a couple weeks ago, I've finally got like full confidence that I wasn't going to have any lingering.
Oh, yeah. It was your ankle, right?
Yeah, it absolutely destroyed my ankle. Like it was black and blue for a week. And then I went and played 2 B tiers in one weekend because I'm smart.
Because that's smart. That's super smart.
Yeah, it didn't hurt during the tournament because I had so much like ibuprofen and stuff that I felt fine like for the first round and a half of those. But definitely didn't recover the right way. And confidence of like attacking certain throws because bracing on your ankle or pushing off on your ankle, all that stuff.
Yeah, scary.
So even now, like my forehand, I'll occasionally like just kind of baby it because I go with the ankle, and just still trying to get over that. But let us know if you want us to talk about recovering from injury. I think that is just a athletics thing, whether it's disc golf or not, you're going to get hurt. So as former athletes,
you're going to get hurt.
Yeah. As former athletes, think we can talk about it a little bit with some level of expertise. maybe we'll find someone who can help us out with that even more. But let us
maybe
know
we can find an expert in the field.
Potentially. We'll do our best. And if you're recovering from an injury and you want to feel better, why don't you swing on by the disc shop, discshop.com, and get yourself a disc, because buying a disc always feels better. New disc day is a great day.
Yep. Retail therapy is the best kind of therapy. It's 100% recommended by 10 out of 10 all doctors. It just go out there.
9 out of 10 dentists recommend retail therapy.
9 out of 10 dentists recommend retail therapy. If it's on sale, it just feels better. And if you use our code MDGPOD, you get
10% off.
How much is was it 10?
10% off.
10. That's like free shipping, which is really nice.
11 out of 10 pediatricians say that you should buy everything on sale. So swing by the disc shop. They always, every week, have something new dropping. So every time you visit,
honestly, yes,
there's something new.
Let's just talk about Discraft real quick. Let me hype up my company real quick. Hype. You can go get the Zone OS. Hype me up. So the Zone OS is out. So nice. Josh has my test flight currently, and he's got one of the first runs. They fly almost exactly the same. Super nice flight if you're looking for that big, deep rim. If you're into that, straight beef. Tour series discs are out. The bottom stamps, so nice. However, little disclaimer, they are bottom stamps, so they're a little domier than you think if you're wanting more of a puddle top or flat top. So like maybe not your best choice for like a Raptor or maybe the Zone OS, because it might get a little bubbly. But if you're looking for a glidey as disc, you're gonna want to get the Scorch is really awesome. The Thrasher's awesome. The Venom, let me tell you, the Venom is one of my favorite discs in my bag. The Force, another favorite disc in my bag. Discraft is just honestly filling all those holes that I need in my life, and it's great.
Yeah, I actually threw a Tour Series Scorch today for the first time. Ooh,
it's
that
nice
thing bombs.
Though, right? It's got like just a touch of, so it's got a touch more stability than the stock runs, which is so nice. Like if you're dealing with any kind of wind, it'll kind of help better. For me, it flies exactly like my Zeus.
Oh, okay.
So if I want my Scorch feeling in my hand, but I know I have some wind, or I need maybe I don't need as much turn, I know I can rely on it. Honestly, just 10 out of 10 discs. I love Valerie Mondahano so much. That's her Tour Series disc. So MDG pod, everybody.
Use it.
What disc are you getting into right now? Are you still on MVP phase?
No, my bag is pretty much settled at this point.
Gotcha.
The new AGL Locust has come out. Like I think they're branding it the Locust X. It's going to have a little bit more of a kind of like the Passion has that bead on the rim. If that
okay,
on the leading edge, they're kind of doing that so they can keep the parting line the same, because I struggle with the Locust sometimes. It's one of my favorite discs, but the first runs were really overstable and they're hard to find now, and that's what I need to throw, because otherwise they kind of like flip up or like Undertaker type flight, and that's not what I'm looking for in that slot. So this run should be a little bit more stable, should give me a little bit more bite back, which is good.
Gotcha.
So did you watch any of the Beaver State Fling?
I watched a little bit of it. This weekend was just busy because it kind of felt like my first off weekend in a while from work. Like we're finally slowing down, which is really nice. So it's nice to like have the weekend where I look at Josh and I go, so what do you want to do? We can do anything. So that's really nice. But I didn't see a whole lot. I saw a lot of the FPO side. Jennifer Allen just kicked butt, which is really, really good to see, because especially on the female side of it, a lot of these players are coming out and they're showing that age doesn't matter, that it doesn't matter whether you throw really, really, really far or you're just a consistent player, more like Own, or you throw far like Jennifer Allen. Like no matter what you do, you come out and you play, you will win. And that's really awesome to see. Now saying that, a lot of people have been making comments and I don't appreciate them. And they did it last weekend too at OTB when Paige won. They're like, well, Paige won because Kristen wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Calm down. You didn't even know who Kristen was 2 years ago before she went on her winning train last year. Like, you don't even know who Kristen is. Like, you just see her. She has been dominating, but she's not. It's not like she is winning every tournament. She's not. Sayananda won. Katrina Allen has won some year. Paige has won this year. Like, it makes me mad because just because Kristen doesn't show up doesn't mean Paige finally gets her win. No, Paige kicked butt. Paige played her game. Paige has been dealing with an injury. Just don't really like that. It was nice to see though some new names like Holland Hanley was she plays second, which is really great to see Holland do well. Oh gosh, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But I don't know, that just bothers me a little bit in the disc golf community. Like, there's a lot of things going on right now, and I do feel like one of those, not the biggest one, but one of those things is that people are putting people on pedestals. That makes sense. Like, we're putting Kristen on this tall pedestal, and I followed Kristen a couple years ago when she was just kind of getting into the swing of things and just coming over a couple times. Like, I remember 2.5 years ago when she was starting to do that. Like, I don't know. We're putting her on a pedestal, but I don't know. I just really want people just to be happy for people when they win. Not, you win just because she wasn't there. No, she won because she kicked butt. That's why she won. So just little things that irk me.
I definitely agree there. I think from what I've seen, if Paige or Kristen isn't there, it's honestly a little bit more exciting because there are so many names that could win. And just generally speaking, if Kristen or Paige is there, one of them is going to pop off because they are that damn good. So when there's a tournament where neither of them are there, it's more interesting, in my opinion, because you have Jennifer Allen winning with an ace on the first hole of the last round.
That was so exciting. Did you see the video of her acing it? Yeah. She literally was like, oh my goodness. Like, like you could just feel it through the camera how excited she was. And everybody on her dang card was so pumped for her. And I loved that.
Yeah. And then she went on a run after that, birdieing the next 3.
She great. Great job. She's taken a couple weeks off though too, so it's really good to see her come back and just like be ready and be level-minded and ready to go. So that was great.
Yeah, and then on the MPO side, speaking of taking some time off, Eagle McMahon, who took almost all of last year off, got his win.
I'm such a proud mom. Finally, I was I saw his name pop up on my social media that he won. I was like, yes, I'm so happy. If anybody deserves it, it's Eagle. He's such a good human.
Yes, he is. And he hasn't had the best year so far, so it's good for him to finally kind of get that monkey off his back. I don't think that this tournament should have been a Silver Series. I think Beaver State Fling. I think that course is really good. I think because of the history, the field is generally very strong.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you have right here in the top 4, you have Eagle, Calvin, and Gannon. Those are arguably 3 of the top 5 when they're playing when they're not injured.
Yeah.
3 How of the close top 5 players. Eagle won by 3, and then Presnell and
gap.
Yeah, Presnell and Calvin tied for second. And Gannon was 2 strokes behind them. So Eagle kind of put a gap into them on the first 5 holes and then just maintained from there.
That's awesome. I'm really happy for him. Like, proud mom energy coming from me. Just very happy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, it was an exciting event. Really looking forward to, I think the next one's a Silver Series as well. The Cascades.
The Cascade Discraft. Yep, Discraft is up next.
And then after that, our first Elite Plus event at the Portland Open. So some good stuff coming from the Pro Tour. I'm very excited to watch what's going to happen.
I really want Holland Hanley to come out with a win. Valerie Mundahano, did you see she posted her first event back will be DDO, which is coming up. That's in 2 to 3 weeks. So that's
June
exciting.
16th.
She's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. She's back.
She's one that could definitely be a disruptor between the Paige, Kristen.
Yeah. She did awesome last year. And you understand, you were just talking about your ankle injury. Coming out with an ankle injury is the worst, because if you come back out too soon, you can't just I'll just rest my ankle. Like, you can't walk if you're resting your ankle. So the fact that she's been out for 4 months now is, I feel bad for her, but I'm really glad she's taken that time. She got married, which is super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And she's coming back at her own pace. And I want her to come back, and I want her just to absolutely just smash, because she's also sponsored by Discraft.
Well, I think that transitions pretty well into this week's Hoffy's Heater.
But I'm nervous now. All right, Hoffy, let's do it.
For those who don't know, Hoffy's Heater is brought to you by Spike Heiser Dyes, and this is where our social media manager, Matt Hoffman, gives his hot takes on things that no one else is talking about. Maybe it's for a good reason. So this one is titled Discraft Elite Team Part 2. So,
gosh, he's gonna make me mad.
This week's Hoffy's Heater is something that we're going to talk about, kind of a flashback that I talked about a few weeks ago in regards to the Discraft Elite Team. One of the biggest talking points in the offseason was all of these big names coming together under the Discraft banner. And really only one person's truly shown up, and that's been Paige Pierce, who got her first one of the season a couple of weeks ago. Now, I don't know if I'm a Discraft exec, what the alarm bells got to be going off yet. Paul's playing at his level, at the same level that he played last year, and he is just being blown out of the water by everyone else. We've seen most members of Team Discraft take down a B tier, A tier. They're regional, lots of good things for them, but nothing on the Pro Tour scale. No Silver Series events, no major events that are really major worthy. Maybe Paul will show up when we do the Europe swing, but almost every player has been on a final card on that Sunday and just has not been able to get a win. And so I'm just going to keep saying this. I think Discraft's got to be having lots of alarm bells going off. They've invested so much money into the likes of AB, bringing Gossage up, keeping Brody, adding everyone to the legacy team, and working on kind of this identity that Discraft is the best. Yet Discraft hasn't shown up except for Paige. And like I said, if I was a Discraft executive, I'd be starting to worry about what looks like the.
I entirely disagree.
So disagree. Okay, I'm going to name a company, and you go ahead and name the top athletes that are dominating right now. Okay, ready? Innova.
Calvin and nobody else.
Yeah, Cat March won Jonesboro, but Cat March has kind of been she's doing good, which is good, but that's just one, right? One person, Calvin
Cat March is hot and cold. Calvin is the only one that's been consistently up there.
Dynamic Disc. Who are Dynamic Disc top people right now? Go ahead and name them. Ricky and Kona. Guess what Ricky and Kona are doing right now? Nursing injuries, trying to get back into the swing of things. So
it's not
anything. Macy Veladiaz is kind of she's doing decently right now, which is good to see, but she's not playing all the tour stops. Let's keep going. MVP, Simon. Simon won one already.
Mm-hmm.
He won one. Hasn't been really lead card all the time. Let's keep it going. I don't even know any other companies. Latitude. Prodigy has no females. They had Caroline, who did really well in the beginning, but Caroline's been injured.
Mm-hmm.
Latitude has Kristen. They got nobody else underneath Kristen. For the guys, I don't know any guys.
Albert Tom, but he's not been doing great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other companies, and it's like that time where someone's like, what's your favorite food? And you can't think of any food in your entire life of what you've eaten. But Discraft, Holland Hanley has been doing amazing top 10. Valerie Moon-Hondo's been injured, but there's nothing you can do about that. Like, she's nursing an injury. Paige just got back from an injury and she won, which is great to see. I'm trying to think of all the girls on the team.
It's very funny because I'm looking at the DGPT standings and bearing in mind that most of these guys did not play the silver, some of those wraparound events, and have definitely taken some tournaments off. Spots 7, 8, 9, and 10 are Anthony Berloa, Ezra Aderhold, Paul Macbeth, and Chris Dickerson. All Discraft players.
I see what he's saying about like
winning. It's not
winning wise, but consistency is key.
Right. It's just different. It's the Pro Tour is not where they're just going to go run rampant. It's not the Pro Tour of old. It's not, what was it, the 2015 Paul Macbeth year where he just couldn't be stopped. That's not the reality of disc golf anymore. I guarantee
not
you.
At all.
Let's see, actually.
But honestly, people are seeing Kristen do amazingly well. And people are like, well, if Kristen's winning, why aren't other people winning? It's like, Kristen's kind of the anomaly right now. Not a lot of people just go out and destroy. Not a lot of people are just so powerful, both forehanded and backhanded dominant. So she's finding more courses that go to her. But Kristen is also just in Europe right now taking a break while people are still playing. So while people are still playing and they're still being consistent, she's just not playing at all. So why doesn't that contribute to anything?
And if you're going to say, oh, Kristen's winning everything, Kristen's also one of the most dominant FPO players we've ever seen. And I mean, it's actually one of the most dominant players we've ever seen, period. Either division. I don't agree with Matt because I think we talked about this the last time we brought it up. Discraft doesn't particularly care if they're winning. They care if they're on lead card coverage. They care if they're showing up, if they're like in the hunt enough that the Discraft logo is showing up on people's backs on live coverage.
Yeah. Holland Hanley's number 2 right now on UDisc rankings. Holland Hanley. Missy Gannon is 6th. That's who I was forgetting. Missy Gannon is 6th. Like, that's what we want to see.
I would love to know the advertising dollars between what Discraft is doing now versus what Calvin has done. Because Calvin's won 1, 2, 3 events, and he was tied for second at Beaver State. How much has that done for Innova versus having the last 4 in the top 10 all be Discraft?
Yeah.
Because I don't think Innova doesn't have anybody else. They just have Calvin in the top 10. Prodigy has Gannon and Isaac. Discmania has Kyle Klein and Eagle.
Who's James Proctor? Who's James Proctor?
Is he Innova?
Let me pull up his profile.
He's a
he is Innova.
No, he's everybody. He's open bag. He's infinite thought space. Yeah, he's one of those thought space guys. So, I mean, right there, no other.
We disagree, Hoppy.
Matt, we disagree. Stop making these heaters.
He's just jealous because he's a disc maniac and he really wants to be part of Discraft, but he doesn't want to admit it to himself yet. So it's okay. It's okay, Matt. I'm here to tell you that it's okay to like Discraft and it's okay to be a fanboy of all those boys and know that they are kicking butt. And right now, maybe they're just not on it right now, but they don't need to be on it because the World Championships aren't for a couple months. So I just want to say, Matt, it's okay. And if you need someone to talk to about this, we're here for you and we'll keep listening to your heaters, as many as you want, about how Discraft isn't doing so well. But we know the stats. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Throw up, throw a zone, stop throwing a razor claw. Well, that was quite the heater. And if you want a disc that is an absolute heater, go check out Spikeiser Dies. Brandon is creating amazing dies for everyone to enjoy. And you can find him on Instagram at shdies_DG. You can see what he has to offer in his shop, or request something custom. Spikeheiser Dies, excellence by design. He's dyeing some of my discs because I'm on Team Spikeheiser Dies, and he just sent me a picture of a servo that I sent to him, and oh my god,
is that the one you sent in the group chat?
Yeah,
that one's nice. You need to post that. That is so nice.
I'm gonna post all of them because I sent him a cedar that, shout out to my boy Nuke over there in Santa Cruz. He gave me one of his Tour Series AGL discs, and I
need to send him some of my discs. I sent him a picture of my bag, and he liked a couple of them, but then I lost like 2 of them, and we're not going to talk about it. So,
what did I send him? Hang on.
Would a putty plastic be a good plastic to dye? That's a question I need to ask him. Like, no,
because it doesn't hold for a long time.
This is why we keep you around, Evan. You help me remember things.
Oh, it was a locust. What am I talking about? I sent him a locust to dye. So I sent him 2 AGL and 2 MVP. The servo that he got done looks incredible. I'm so excited to see what else he does for me. And you'll be sure to see that posted when I get them. Maybe I'll do an unboxing. Maybe I won't. We'll find out. Suspenseful.
You should do an unboxing on the podcast.
Yeah, unboxings are really good audio only content.
I think it'd be fine. Like, I think we'll just have really good descriptive skills.
All right, everybody who's driving, close your eyes and picture this.
Close your eyes.
Oh, wait,
okay,
no, you're driving.
Okay, everybody?
No, don't close your eyes.
It's okay. No, you're fine. Feel it. You can it's like Luke Skywalker with the Force. Like, he felt it. Like, I need you to just feel it. Okay, ready? So Evan right now is opening a box, and it has a disc. I want you to imagine this for me.
It's circular.
It's circular. It has a rim to it.
It says locust on it, and it's colorful.
Do you know one of the things that I was... What?
Content creation is hard.
I was never creative, so it's fine. I was always a jock. Okay, I got a question for you. So I just got off injury. I've been off for 3 weeks. And let me tell you, I was so surprised. My putting was actually really good when I came back.
Did you not putt at all? Because when I'm injured, that's generally all I do. Okay, interesting.
I can't. Like, no offense, you injured your ankle, which is like, ankle, body weight, you can't stand, or maybe you're putting your weight something different. You don't realize how much you need your back when you pull it. Like, leaning over to pick up a disc. Like, patent pendings are incredibly tough. Like,
yeah.
Your back is involved in everything. Who freaking knew that your core was involved? But...
Whoa.
With putting, I couldn't do anything. So coming back to it, I was really surprised how good my putting was. And I think it's because I went back into with just a simple mindset. I was like, I'm just going to put disc in basket, or what Calvin says, like, put the pizza in the oven. I think that really, really helped me. I've always been good with putting. I've always felt like that is a very good skill of mine, except that one tournament I had the really bad yips and I thought I was going to cry the entire time. The yips are real. Do you know what the yips are? Like, when I say the yips?
Oh yeah 100%.
It's a softball term, but I feel like you can use it. I
played golf all my life.
Yeah,
yips are a thing. Shockingly, on the putting green.
Shockingly. So I feel like I'm a really good putter, and I've just tried to keep going with it. I don't know. Do you practice putting? I actually have not been practicing any putting recently. So
yeah, I got an awesome DGA mock shift basket.
You did get a new basket.
Yeah, I got that out at the Masters Cup. If you play the Masters Cup, sick players pack. Like, one of the best I've ever gotten. Paying...
What was it?
It was a basket that retails for 160 or 180.
Wait, you got a basket in your players pack?
A full-on basket. And shout out to everybody at DGA, because they were able to help me out and ship it to me for much cheaper than what I would have been able to ship it to myself. like going to a post office.
What lovely humans. Do you know what's so good about DJI?
Their baskets.
Go ahead. Their parent company, Discraft. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Oh, we're back on this. We're past the heater, Kim. We get it. But
that's so awesome that they did that.
Yeah, so I have that new basket, and it fits my Putt Confidently champ cap with the little holes in the side, so it like helps me be more accurate. It fits that.
Stuff.
So I have like 5 different putting modes and games that I can do by myself and like really focus on different styles of putts and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so putting generally, like if I'm having a long day at work where I know I'm not going to be able to get out to the course, I'll just get 20 minutes of putting in.
That's good.
And did it take a while for you to like develop a style of putting, or did you start throwing putters and go, this is how I'm doing this for the rest of my life?
So when I first started, Josh and I, we have a Florida room in our back. It's actually where I am right now. This is also my office and everything. It's a disc golf room, hangout room. And Josh and I would sit back here when we first started dating, and he was just teaching me how to putt. And I, of course, putted like a newbie. So like I didn't understand. Now that I putt, I think a year ago, I finally figured out like the different feelings that I need, that like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Of course, like we go backwards. Sometimes we feel like we're unstoppable. Sometimes we feel like we are stoppable at all moments. We are stopped, like not moving. I have an interesting way I putt. First of all, I aim for the top band.
Okay.
Because I struggle with missing low, I like to short my arm sometimes. I think it's a softball thing, because like when you pitch, you like just finish your arm. You don't really like extend out.
Right.
So I aim for top band because I honestly don't even know what kind of putt it is. I think it's a spin putt because I kind of just like lob it.
Let's get into the different styles.
Kim, FPO player here, doesn't understand the style differences.
There's a push putt and a spin putt. And then there's the blend that a lot of people lovingly call the spush putt. So a spin is like what you see Eagle McMahon or Ricky with, like just the quick snap of the wrist, the disc kind of the putter,
like a power putt almost, like just
like a power putt, yeah, where
like
it
a line drive.
Doesn't really drop at all unless it's from like really far out. But they're not even like,
gotcha,
from like 50 feet, they're still not giving up the basket as far as like aiming at the band. Then you have the push putt, which is a lot more of like a lob, not as big of a miss, because if you miss with a spin putt, it's Holland butt. So you could end up with another long comebacker if you miss with the spin putt, versus the push putt, where if you miss, generally not going very far. And then there's kind of the blend where you don't commit to either style, and it's somewhat spinny, but it drops out of the air at the last second. I don't exactly understand how it works, but that is my style of like,
I think that's my style too.
Definitely snap my wrist. Like I'll put a good move on the disc, but it drops so hard at the end. Like at 30 feet, I'm aiming 2 or 3 chain links below the band. Because I just anticipate that it's going to drop. So
so I guess that's me. Okay.
Yeah. So I think spush putting is kind of becoming the catch-all. A lot of people like it. Again, because the spin putt, if you miss, you really miss. The push putt is hard to make stuff in the wind as well as from range. But yeah, I really like the spush putt. I've tried to go to the spin, and it's great. It feels really good to make one, but it feels real bad to miss one. Like real bad.
Yeah, I think I like I'm kind of a spush, but like the closer I get, I'm more of a push putter because like it's just simple. I try to think like I can throw a ball and hit you like dead center chest. Why can't I throw a disc? But the further I get out, I turn more of a spin putter because I do want that speed to get there. I'm trying to think. So when you like, so we all know Calvin is like put the pizza in the oven kind of person, like, or give a handshake to the basket. How do you think of that, the release?
I think playing catch with the basket, ultimate frisbee background, it's pretty easy to just picture like I'm literally playing catch. And I've found that if I use my glitch as a warm up, like legitimately just playing catch with some friends before a round, that is when my putting is insane because I played catch with my friends, was pretty good at it. Let's just play catch with the basket with a little bit of a different putter.
You want to hear the weird stuff that I think of?
Sure.
When I release my disc, my best putts are when my wrist goes over. So like when I let go and I kind of like go like think of it, I make an arch. So like I start in a handshake and I just come over. Those are my best putts when I release and I actually like finish upside down.
I kind of do that too. I've caught myself doing it. I don't understand I don't know if it's a mechanics thing or like I think it's more like me trying to steer it into the basket.
So from my knowledge, could be definitely wrong, disclaimer here. But for softball, the best pitchers, you come through and you snap your wrist, but you're so like kind of, you just let the ball do the work. You don't like snap your wrist. You just let the ball do the work and you come through and your wrist should be so relaxed that's why your wrist is kind of just, it goes upside down. So the same idea is when you putt and you kind of just let your wrist do the work without really working, it's automatically going to finish over.
That's really interesting. That the way you put that is actually like when my putts are the best is when I'm not like thinking snap your wrist, extend the elbow. Like I'm just put frisbee in basket and just kind of let it naturally go. That's really interesting. I've never heard someone put it like that before. Maybe that's something I'll share that knowledge with people if they're not listeners, in which they should be listeners. But
should be listeners.
If you're struggling with putting, think about that of don't overdo the wrist. Like
no. Just let it happen. Just let the wrist snap. Just like when you come through, you just you let the wrist snap, and that's your best throws are when you're most relaxed. So when you putt and you're nice and relaxed, and that wrist comes through really nicely, your wrist should just want to relax at the end of the flight. So boom, I still push up with my fingers, but when I finish pushing up, I just kind of just relax.
That's really interesting. And I think we can tell people all these tips and that sort of thing. It used to drive me insane when you'd like I'd watch a YouTube video of how to putt, and at the end they'd always go, but at the end of the day, if it works for you, like do what's good for you. And that always irritated me. But I've learned that putting is such a mental game. That
yes,
it does not matter how the disc gets in there, as long as it's getting in there. There's no pictures on the scorecard as long as it went in.
No, there's not.
So that like, if you're a good putter and you do it weird, cool. We're talking more to the people who struggle with putting or are newer and trying to understand putting. That's who we're targeting here.
To which their own, choose your own style. But if you putt with a premium disc, I don't like you. That's my heater. That's Kim's heater. Stop putting with premium plastic discs. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I played with a guy at doubles on Saturday who putted with a premium plastic Jokery. Sean, shout out. You're awesome, dude. But it really didn't make sense. Jokery's overstable.
Kim hates you.
Yeah, I don't. Kim does. Jokery's overstable. So he's throwing an overstable premium plastic putter that by the time it gets to the basket, it's hyzering. So he had like 3 or 4 just go clean through the basket. you need to have a putting putter that has some form of grip. Figure out what's good for you. I've messed around, like I putt with the AGL Madrone. For me, it's a great putter because it's really deep rim, kind of feels almost ultimate disc like. So that helps kind of cue that in my mind. But I've messed with, like, they have an ultra soft, flexy, really grippy plastic. I don't particularly like it because it's too grippy for me and it kind of feels like it sticks to my hand and I can't trust it. I've also tried their firmer plastic. That's still putter plastic, still grips the chains, but it doesn't feel like I have full control of it in my hand. Again, that is entirely personal preference. But if you're struggling with putting and you like the mold of your putter, check out the plastics. There's so many different plastic. Like Discraft has their standard, they have their crazy tough. What else do they have?
We have the Pro. We have Baseline. We have Jawbreaker, Swirl, Pro D, or if you get a roach, it's called the Bro D, which cracks me up every time I see it. Crazy Tough. They got
a lot of different kinds.
They got a good amount. You could find what you like. I mean, I know some people like putting plastic because sometimes Baseline plastics are like rock hard. Yes. And I get that, but you can, if you go out and find discs, you'll find something you like. Like if you like something more gummy, maybe you want to find some MVP discs. I feel like MVP discs are more gummy a little bit. Just like
their putter plastics are Castaplast. The K1 Soft is a really nice.
Yes. If you like something more stiff, Dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dynamic's pretty like a rock hard disc. Maybe Medium's more like a Discraft. Yes, the Burst.
Yeah.
Find what you like, but also if you have a disc that's not a premium plastic disc, you can have more of them because they're cheaper when they're in the lower putting plastic.
Mm-hmm. I think Lone Star, their putting plastic isn't cheaper, but it's still it's a higher quality plastic according to like their marketing stuff. And all of it actually floats in water, which I thought was interesting.
Why do I need a putter that floats in water?
I don't know.
Okay.
In case it rolls away, like, Fountain Hills for the memorial. There's always that someone runs a putt and it goes into the big lake.
I've actually thrown a disc into that water when I practiced that course. I actually did do that, so it's fine.
But there's so many brands with so many different putting plastics. Like AGL is a smaller company and they have 3 styles of putter plastic: soft, medium, and firm. And they're coming out with even more.
Well, that's good. I've got a question for you. So we talked about styles of putting. We talked about what kind of putter. What about routine? Do you have like a routine for your putting, or do you try to keep it like minimalistic?
I have a routine. It's kind of minimalistic. Like I can get a putt off in like under 10 seconds.
Okay.
But like I also, a lot of stuff that people are checking and doing for their putting routine when they're at their mark, I'm kind of doing while I'm sitting there waiting for my turn. Like I'm checking the wind, kind of looking around, figuring out where I'm picking out on the basket. So when I get up there, I just go. But that is also the longer, for me personally, the longer I stand over a putt, the more I think about, oh man, you need to make this, or you can't miss this, or like, oh, you remember the last 7 putts that you just dinked off the band? Like that'd suck if you did that again. So I just kind of get up there, 1-2 pump and go. But that is something that I've developed. It kind of looks weird, but it works for me. I think a routine is incredibly important.
I think a routine's really important, but not a routine that someone can mess up like for you, if that makes sense. So let me explain.
Elaborate.
So
please.
All good having a routine, like if you put a mini down, like do your mini, do your step, do your breath, kind of how Missy Gannon does it. I'll mix up my routine, whether I'm putting a mini down or not. That's just kind of me. So whether I'm putting a mini down or not, I'm just going to take a breath and put my foot where I need to put my foot. So that way, same thing, I'm going to think of it. And then I get ready to go. I kind of just need to feel the feeling in my thing. And then I'm just going to go. If somebody is walking, I don't care. That wasn't in my routine. My routine is not to make sure nobody's paying attention. My routine is get my foot ready, feel it in my hand, and go it in the basket. I'm one of those people who, it doesn't bother me if you talk. It doesn't bother me if you walk away. It bothers me a little bit, though, if you do freeze, because now I'm like, just move. Just keep
going or fully stop before you set up. Yeah, I agree.
Yes. I don't want anybody to do something and it ruin my game, because that has happened to me in the past where somebody moved or something and then I jerked and I missed my putt, but I missed the putt. So I've been working on really just like, hey, like, just keep working. You're good. Oh, like mid conversation. Yeah, go up for my putt. It doesn't take me that long. I've been working on trying to take my time because sometimes I rush. But I don't want to have a routine that I have to make sure that you're good. I'm going to make sure I'm good. I'm going to go. And if you are bothering me, I'll be like, hey, can you just stop? Thank you so much. Because now it's out of my head.
Again.
Yes.
You do not. That I think is the biggest mistake I see at almost all levels of disc golf, is when you have to back off of a putt, instead of full resetting, they just go for wherever they were at in that routine. It's not a routine if you're picking up where you left off. Do the same thing every time. When you're putting in the backyard or practice putting in general, don't just sit there and rattle off putts because you have this big old stack.
No,
sit there and do
don't
your routine, because the routine doesn't matter if you can make every shot because you're just laser like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you're putting before the last putts even sat in the basket. That doesn't help a lot, in my opinion. Find a good routine.
Is my foot. Yeah.
Yes. Like I do the same thing, a similar thing to you. Of I have my 1-2 pumps, but I also have like every time I put down a mini. It doesn't matter if it's from 10 feet. It doesn't matter if it's from 50 feet. Like I put down the mini. That is just what, like, we are putting now in my head.
Like
and then when exactly. Then brush off my throwing hand and then go into like the mechanical part of the routine. And like for doubles, I learned this. I need to not, like, Josh putts first for our team because I'm generally the stronger putter. I have to be standing there with my putter, because during tournaments by myself, I stand there when I'm the next to putt or whatever, I'm standing there ready with my putter, because that's just what I'm there to do. So in doubles, if I'm just like not ready to putt and he misses a putt and I have to like scramble to get my disc out, then I feel like I'm rushing my routine.
Yeah, you gotta be ready to go.
Also, know the timing of your routine. If you're someone who has a routine that takes 20 seconds, know that it takes 20 seconds. Like, I know that I get a putt off quick. So if it's a tournament situation and it's my turn to go and I need to slow it down for some reason, I know I have plenty of room and it doesn't add stress. If you're a 20-second routine person, you don't have a ton of time to work with. So just keep that in mind.
I mean, that's why that's why my routine is just like, get my foot down, look at my foot. Okay, I'm ready to go. Because when I'm practice putting the front lawn, when I go to the next disc, like I go to pick up the disc, I literally just pick my foot up and I put it back down.
Yep.
And there you go. I'm practicing putting my mini down without having to put a mini down, because I don't always have pockets.
That's fair. Yeah, routine, I would almost say routine is more important than any of the mechanics stuff that we talked about. Because like we said, mechanics are great in theory, but if you have something that works for you, it works for you, and that's cool. If you have a routine that changes all the time, or you can easily get thrown off, or you're not committing to that routine, that I think has a much bigger impact, especially in high pressure situations. Because when you have a good routine, like almost mentally transport yourself, like you have a putt to win, but you're also putting in the backyard. Like
Yeah.
I've had putts where it's a high pressure situation and I picture my dog running by. Like I put myself in the backyard putting.
I give myself anxiety.
Well, it doesn't give anxiety. You take that back.
I give myself anxiety though. I'm just like, all right, this is bottom of the 7th, 2 house. All right. Like I give myself that feeling so that way when I'm in tournaments, I don't get that feeling anymore. And therefore I also helps that I don't get the yips anymore, which is.
Oh yeah. When I'm putting in the backyard, it's different. I'm thinking, all right, this is to win. This is to win this tournament that I have coming up. This is to beat this person. This is like, I put
all about visualization.
Yeah.
Visualization.
That was so
Did
close.
I say it?
Yeah. Visualization. Okay. You did it. You got there. I put all the pressure on myself when I'm practice putting. So when I'm out there at the tournament, it's just another putt. And I can put myself in that casual, you're just in the backyard mode.
Yep.
Also, if you have a good group of friends that you play with all the time, doing a mess around round where like people can intentionally try to mess with you while you're putting.
Yeah.
Really helps.
Like honestly, when you go out with friends, don't do the whole like, oh, we stop talking when Evan is going because Evan needs to focus. Like, no, this is your time where you need to figure out how to get focused, even when you're with your friends, because when you're in a tournament setting, like, oh shit, well, Kim doesn't stop talking when I putt with her. So like now I actually have silence. This is nice. Like,
yeah.
Don't make it too much. Like, keep it simple. Talk, walk around. Don't make yourself. It honestly reminds me of the word flooding. That's like a therapy technique where they kind of just flood you with all the stimuli until you're used to it completely.
You're afraid of the dark. They put you in a dark room.
Yes. Not that much to that extent, but we get that a lot. When Josh and I play with new people, they'll like stop talking when Josh is putting. I was like, he's fine. He's fine. Just ignore him. And Josh will go sink the putt or he'll make a great drive. And it's like, for us, Josh and I really believe like it doesn't bother us because we make sure it doesn't bother us. We go in with I'm not going to worry about that. That doesn't bother me. And maybe sometimes it does bother me. And I'll have to go, hey, Josh, shut up.
Yeah.
I love you. Love you. You're my husband. I love you. Shut up. But that's me recognizing I'm actually not okay. Usually I'm okay. I'm not okay. I'm going to just need you to be quiet because that's on me now. If I shank my shot because you were talking, I should have told you to stop talking.
Right. Yeah. When we're playing casual rounds, Coffee and I will walk by as the other person, like walk in front of the basket while the other person is putting and either pretend to or attempt to swat the putt out of the air.
We do that too.
Just that's what we do. And now like we can sit there and like dance behind the basket. And if we miss the putt, it was not because you're distracted. It's because you just missed the putt.
And that is friendship. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Bully your friends while you're playing disc golf.
Bully your friends. It's okay. We support.
No, we don't. We don't support bullying. Only if it's in a loving and everybody understands the situation.
Yeah, what he said.
Well, that's an interesting place to wrap it up for today. You can find Kim on Instagram at Kim the Great and me at Evan Amstutz DG. Remember to follow the pod on Instagram at Mediocre Disc Golf Pod and on Twitter at Mediocre DG Pod. If you want to support us, buy our shirts on mythicdiscgolf.com and listen to us every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you enjoyed the show, leave us 5 stars in a review. And if you didn't, still give us 5 stars and tell us why. We know we aren't perfect because we are mediocre. Have a good night.